Okay, this is done. Look at how beautiful this pie crust is. Check that out. Flaky and golden. You can just see that it's flaky and crispy. The bottom is beautifully done too, if you can see that. And now what we're doing is we're going to quickly make the orange filling for our meringue. So
actually, I don't want to interrupt you, but if you have a glass pie plate, that's one of the advantages, that you can see the bottom of it, and it doesn't matter so much for one of these kind of pies. But if you're doing a fruit pie with the top crust,
and you par bake it,
and you haven't par baked it, so you have to make sure that the bottom of it is brown before you think in your head that it's cooked.
Otherwise, you're gonna have a soggy pie crust that's not all the way cooked with your fruit pie. I've had that, and it's not my favorite.
Yeah, it's not good. So that's one of the advantages. If you're going to buy a pie plate, get one that where you can see the bottom glass one, and also one that's a little deeper so you can get more filling in it.
Okay, so right now we're going to set this to the side while we get our filling prepared. Okay, this is slightly cooling, but we want to keep it somewhat warm when we put the filling in. So we don't want it to cool too quickly either.
Right.
Okay.
The first thing we're going to do is mix all the dry ingredients right in the pot, right here.
Okay, right here. And you'll see us in 1 second. Okay, we're measuring all the dry ingredients right into the pot right now.
Yes.
So I'm putting 1 2/3 cups of sugar. Regular, just plain old sugar.
Since we're using oranges, and sometimes oranges you can't predict ahead of time how sweet or not sweet they are. So that might seem like a lot of sugar, but in most cases that's what you need.
But guess what? It's a pie.
That's right.
It's a dessert, so you're gonna put sugar in it. You already know that, so don't get all your knickers in a bunch. I need the juice of my oranges. However, I also need my zest. I need to keep the zest, so I'm gonna zest my oranges first. I've already washed them with soap and water, and I'm going to zest them now and reserve it. Then I'm going to juice it. If you try and zest the empty shells, you're gonna be really mad at me by not telling you.
And what kind of oranges are these?
These are just navel oranges.
Navel oranges.
Yeah. What I wanted was the blood oranges, but they didn't have any in stock, and so whatever.
It's a disappointment in a way, but I think it'd still be wonderful.
Yes. So you just want to get that outer bit of zest. You don't want to get into the pith, because that is what is really, really bitter. And we don't want a bitter pie.
Exactly.
We want a beautiful, bright, shiny pie. And how much zest do we need, honey? 1.5 teaspoons?
Yeah.
I would say we probably can get that from 1 orange. I don't know if
I think you've already got enough.
Yeah? But what I like to save my zest for other recipes.
That's right.
So before I go ahead and just chunk out my peelings, I like to zest them, and then I dry it and I save it.
Yes.
I have lots of lime and lemon and stuff, and whenever you just you don't even have a lemon around, you still have zest and you're good to go.
Exactly. And the zest has a lot of flavor.
Sure
Those
does.
essential oils in there are very strong.
Absolutely.
Very intense.
So I'm just gonna finish doing this.
So easy.
It is. It's easy if you have the right tool.
Yes, and that's a real nice little gadget.
It's nice and sharp still. You just periodically have to buy new ones, because they just become not sharp, and it's like trying to use a dull knife to really try and
it's not as though you
cut
can
something.
sharpen one.
No, you definitely can't sharpen these. So just go ahead and suck it up and buy yourself another one. You can use a nice rasp from the hardware store. Those are actually some of the best.
Yes, you can buy a zest, but what's the point? I mean, this is so easy to dry your own and just never have to pay for it.
Yeah.
These are nice big oranges.
Yes. The key is to make sure you wash the outsides. You don't want to have any kind of pesticides or chemicals or waxes or anything like that on your veggies or your fruit. That looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, now look how much I have now. Perfect. Use that for something really beautiful.
Yes.
Who knows what? Okay, so I'm just going to put this zest into a little bowl, and then I'll measure out what I need in a little while. And then I'm going to juice my fresh oranges. You want to use fresh juice.
Oh, yes.
You don't want to buy orange juice. Don't do that.
No, no.
Use your elbow grease and juice some orange juice. All you need is 2/3 of a cup, I believe.
Yes.
Is that right? Yeah. So there's my zest on the side. I'm going to slice these guys up. Those are lovely oranges too.
Beautiful looking.
Nice big ones.
Mm-hmm.
I believe they're sun-kissed. Okay, now I just need 2/3 of a cup. I like the pulp, so what I'm going to do, me and Mom both like it, so what I'm going to do is if we have any pits in here, we're going to pick out the pits, but we're going to reserve that, we're going to keep the pulp with the juice. I'm going to try one of these because they look really juicy.
Yes.
It might be enough right now.
Right.
Okay, so let's see how much we have. That's like right there. Almost.
Awesome.
I think with our pulp, it'll be just enough. I like the pulp in a meringue pie, whether it's lemon or whatever kind.
Yeah.
I think it's nice to have a little bit of something else in there. We're also putting zest in there. It's just a nice change.
Tastes more like the curd mixture, doesn't it?
Now, is that what we need? Yep, that looks just right.
Yeah.
So we only needed one. Now we have a beautiful orange for something else later. So maybe we'll garnish it with that, right?
Right.
So there's the juice. Now what, Mommy?
Now, we're going to separate the eggs.
Now you want,
Actually, let's finish the dry ingredients first. We're going to put in a half teaspoon of salt. Goes in. And
that's a 1/4 teaspoon, I believe. 1/4 teaspoon of salt.
Yeah. You measured it. And 7 tablespoons of cornstarch.
Yes, ma'am. Level tablespoons.
Yes.
For
level.
real, 7 tablespoons.
You don't need a whole lot more, that's for sure.
No.
You get big lumps in it.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so all the dry ingredients except the zest is ready, and we're mixing it through with just a whisk, easy. And now we need to separate the egg whites from the egg yolks. Now, don't be scared. You're going to use both the whites and the yolks. The whites are going to be used for the meringue, and the yolks are going to be used inside of the pie filling, so don't feel guilty, okay? We need this bowl.
And we're going to beat the yolks before they go into this pot. Because if we put them in directly in here, they're going to all stick to the sugars and stuff, and you get lumps of egg.
Yes, ma'am.
So that we're going to mix it by hand will be fine. That's good.
We need a bowl. Okay, so when you're doing your egg whites for the meringue, if you've never made meringue, you want to make sure that you have a bowl. Stainless steel is probably the best, or glass. If you have to clean it out with lemon or vinegar to get all of your oil residue or wax residue, anything kind, do that. Otherwise, your meringue will not rise. So make sure you use a very, very clean bowl. No butter, no oil, nothing in it. Nothing.
And your beaters have to be spotless.
Yes. So here's our beaters, and they're good. So now, Mom, we need room temperature eggs for this.
Yes.
And we hadn't taken them out earlier, and you know, that happens all the time, right? People do that all the time, you forget. So what Mom did was she just took these eggs and put them in some warm water to bring them to a more of a room temperature before we start. So I'm just gonna separate these, yolks, whites. I like to use my hands. I think your hands are your best
Tools.
weapon. You want to gently and most carefully do this because you don't want any yolk inside here. Okay, so our whites are getting set to the side for right now. Okay, at this point now you need to get some water boiled. We need some boiling water and we need some cold water. So Mom is just measuring out right now 2/3 of a cup of cold water. Is that going in the dry ingredients right now? The water is?
Yep.
And the juice?
I'm going to put the water in first.
Water in first. She's mixing it through with a whisk. I'm just beating up these egg yolks.
And the juice can go in now.
The juice can go in with the pulp if you want.
Mix this up until it gets a little foamy.
Okay.
I usually like to add the butter in at the end, so we're just going to keep it until everything comes to a boil. Okay. See, you need everything to be totally dissolved before you start adding the hot water, because otherwise you'll get
Chunks.
scrambled eggs. Okay, we can put the eggs in now. We need this. Oh, you have a spatula. Those are 4 egg yolks. Yes.
Don't waste them. Those are large eggs.
Yeah.
As well. Okay, our water is boiled, so I'm just measuring 1 2/3 cups.
Okay, so you stir and I'll pour it. How's that?
Okay. You want to do this slowly. You're going to somewhat temper it, in other words, because you don't want scrambled eggs. So you got to bring it up to a temperature all together very slowly, or that's exactly what you're going to get is scrambled eggs. Now it's getting a little frothy. As you go, you can add a little bit more at a time. It smells like freshly squeezed orange juice. This is going to be tasty. I kind of think that this is going to taste like a creamsicle, this pie. Okay.
Okay, now
onto the stove top.
Onto the stove. I think to stir it now, you might have to start using the spatula. It will come to a boil. When it comes to a boil on medium heat, or medium low actually, but you've got the gas stove, so you know about where to go.
Now this needs to be babysat, right?
Yeah, absolutely, or you'll get big lumps and all kinds of unpleasant things going on. You have to babysit it for sure. Just before it comes to a boil, we'll put the zest in.
So I'm bringing it up on a medium high heat, and I'm really babysitting it. You're gonna have to scrape the sides and the bottom to make sure that it doesn't stick, because that's exactly what it's gonna want to do. Once this comes to a boil, it's gonna come to its full thickening power because it has cornstarch. The longer you boil it, it doesn't really matter. In fact, it kind of breaks it down.
Yes, it does.
What you want to do is just bring it to a boil and then you stop.
You bring it to a boil and let it boil for 30 seconds. And then you take it off the stove and add the butter. But the zest should go in before it starts thickening up. So when you start getting the clear little pieces moving back and forth, little strands, you'll be able to tell that's when you can put the zest in.
Okay, so we have the zest reserved. We also have the butter. Now we're gonna keep the butter cold until we're ready to put it in. Okay. That's 2 tablespoons of cold butter cut into little chunks.
Right.
Oh. That smells great.
So good. It smells like orange julienne.
Yes, it does. Okay, so you'll see us when this comes up to a boil, and you'll see what else has to happen then. Okay, so Mom's been stirring. She's only been stirring for about 5 minutes. And what she's noticing is that what she was saying about when it's slippery. When you first put it in and you start stirring, you can see that it's kind of, your spatula gets stuck on the pot. Now it just kind of slides on it, and that's when you know it's time to add the zest. We're adding 1.5 teaspoons of this orange zest. And don't forget, this carries so much flavor and fragrance. It's gonna be lovely. And it goes, and a little bit more. Oh, that smells good. Woo! Now it still looks like a lemon meringue pie. It still looks like the lemon filling because it's that yellowy color. If you really wanted to, you don't have to. If you wanted to, you could add a couple drops of red food coloring, and it would turn it more orange.
And if you were using blood oranges, you'd probably have it much brighter.
Oh yes.
But I mean, I like this. I think it's a beautiful color.
It's gonna be amazing. This is gonna be so tasty. Well, it looks like we're in the final stages of what Mom's doing here on the stove. So I'm going to measure out what we need for our meringue. Now we have the 4 egg yolks, they're room temperature in here. I'm going to measure out 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar.
You pick it up.
Okay, Mom's picked it up. I have to be really fast because it might stick. Now she's getting this from the bottom. A little, you can't really see. Darn it all to heck. The sun's all in the way. So here, you get a little chunk off of it, right? So she has little chunks coming off the bottom, like it's collecting as a little bit more solid.
Gel.
Like gelling, yes. So into a small little bowl, I'm putting 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar. That's gonna stabilize your egg whites and keep them from getting all runny and gross into your pie. You don't want that, right? So that's gonna be measured out, and 1/2 cup of sugar. If you wanna put vanilla extract in, you very well may. We're not doing that today, but if you do, you can put about 1/4 teaspoon in. So we've got 1/2 cup sugar ready, 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar, and our egg whites. Yes, it's definitely starting to thicken. You can see it thickening. You're making rows as you're moving your spatula through. It's very nice. It's about to start bubbling in just a hot second. So this is getting set to the side. Okay, so this is what you have. This is beautiful. It's like a custard or a pudding consistency. That's what you have, these beautiful orange zest in there. I love that. It's beautiful. So now what we're doing next is we're gonna just mix in the butter, right?
Yes.
And then we're going to get our egg whites done quickly, right? Because you wanna put this pie filling in when it's still warm, right?
Yes, yes.
Into the pie crust. And why is that, Mom?
So that the part of the meringue that touches the pie will also cook from underneath. because when you put it in into the oven just to brown the meringue, you're cooking the top of the meringue, not the bottom. So you don't want raw eggs in there, raw egg whites.
Now this cold butter is just going to mix in. It's going to make it nice and glossy and thicken it quite a bit.
Yeah, beautiful.
It is beautiful. It smells unreal.
And you would be surprised at the difference it makes when you mix those dry ingredients together, because if you don't mix them together thoroughly, you get big lumps of cornstarch, little nuggets.
Oh, you don't want that. That's terrible. You really don't want lumps. This, I think that's pretty good. Now, I have to taste this.
Yes, let's do it. We might have to eat this without putting it in the pie.
Here's a spoon. Let's try it. Oh, the smell. Mmm. It tastes like a creamsicle.
That's really good.
Oh, I can't wait.
Kim, that's a winner.
I know. All right, so this is, oh, it's so good. You have to make this, for real. Okay, this is being set to the side, and I'm gonna get the mixer quickly, and we're gonna get everything going. Okay, should we preheat the oven?
Yes, I'm going to turn it on.
To what?
I think I'll turn it on to 425.
425, that's gonna
Get it hot.
Right, that's going to cook the meringue. This is what we're preheating for the meringue right now. Because your pie is cooked, that filling is cooked, you're not worried about it. So all you need to do is get those beautiful egg whites a little bit browned on the peaks. Right?
I have the sugar.
Yep, everything's out. So I'm just gonna click this on here. If you guys need a mixer, make sure you go to our shop at shop.cookingwithkimberly.com. We have some really nice KitchenAid models that you will love too. So we're gonna use the whippersnipper today. Our whippersnipper. I like to call it a whippersnipper. It's more fun. Okay, so we're gonna whip these on high. We're gonna start on a little bit lower.
We're going to bring them up to a nice frothy stage. And then we're going to add the cream of tartar and the sugar in. Sugar first.
Mom just whipped it up to high speed. Everything looks nice and frothy, but now we really want to get it moving.
Now we're going to add the sugar in.
Can I show them what this looks like quickly?
It's turned very white all of a sudden. And,
you don't want to lose this froth. You want to be fast. So I'm going to show you quick. So that's what it looks like. It's all nice and frothy, kind of like how you would add the cream or milk on top of a latte. That's what it looks like.
And you need it to be very wet because you need to dissolve the sugar.
Okay, so
sugar goes in.
Sugar in, all the sugar, or slowly pour it in?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna bring it up to halfway, and we're gonna slowly add this. Meringues are a little bit finicky because it's air inside of liquid. So you want to be gentle. That's half a cup of sugar.
Cream of tartar is a stabilizer to keep the broth nice and firm.
Scrape it off the sides. And now I'm going to bring it up high. Finish it off. Now the egg whites look nice and white and fluffy. They're nice and glossy. Is that how you want it?
I'm not sure.
Yep. A little bit longer.
A little bit longer.
They're soft peaks right now.
Just fall over, and
you want stiffer peaks. Yeah. You don't want soft peaks. You want stiff peaks, but not dry. Okay. So Mom's testing her egg white still. She's not satisfied. Keep going. They look like they'd probably be a harder peak now. Yep. Is that right?
Yeah, just a little bit more. They're standing up nicely. There's a fine line between perfect and
too dry.
I think we're good.
Beautiful. I'll show you what these guys look like so you know what Mom's talking about. So you have your meringue, and now it's making nice, beautiful peaks. They're still wet. Look how that peak holds itself up straight. That's what you want. That's what makes a beautiful meringue pie, are there's beautiful peaks on the top. Now, the benefit of being Mom's daughter is I get to eat the beer.
Okay, so we're gonna pour the filling in.
Hold that for me. Thanks, Mom. All right, this pie filling is going in. Isn't that beautiful?
Okay, I think that's enough.
That's good?
Keep the rest.
Oh, darn, we have to keep the
I know,
rest.
we have to eat that.
I'm really upset.
Isn't that dreadful?
This stuff is the bomb. Thanks,
That's
Mom.
real pretty. That's really pretty. You see the little flecks of orange zest in there.
Mm-hmm. Now, Mom makes the best meringue pies because we call them mile-high meringue pies. She makes huge meringue pies, beautiful meringue.
First thing that we do is seal the edge. Go around and do all the edges first.
You don't want it separating. That's what I don't like about some people's meringues is that it's just kind of sliding all over the top, the whole big piece of meringue.
Mm-hmm.
You really want to adhere it to that beautiful pie crust that you made, and it's going to hold the meringue on the whole pie instead of just moving everything around.
Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of recipes for meringue pies allow you to put vanilla in the whites. However, we didn't do that because I feel that the vanilla changes the color of the meringue, and I like a nice fluffy white cloud up there. Now, see, I've done all around the edges. Now I'm going to pile it on in the middle.
Okay, now we've preheated the oven on convection to 425 degrees. I'm turning it down to 400 degrees now because that's what you're actually going to bake it on.
See, when you open the oven to put the pie in, you're letting the hot air out. So I usually preheat a little bit higher than what I wanted.
And with the egg whites, if you really want a huge meringue, go on and add one more egg white.
Oh,
if
absolutely.
you want to. Go all out because that's what is really a beautiful presentation. That's what really impresses everybody is this big giant meringue. Why not?
That is so beautiful.
What a lovely meringue. It's so white
Glossy.
and creamy and glossy. And now Mom's gonna make some beautiful peaks on it. She's just getting it all on here first. There's a hole here, Mommy, right there. There you go.
Maybe you can scrape the remains.
Oh, I'll scrape the remains for myself.
Now, for making the peaks the way I like them, first of all, even this out. Okay, you put the your ladle in and pull it out, in and up, and you get these beautiful. If you dip it in a little higher, you get bigger peaks. I just love these high peaks in meringue pie. If you're gonna have a meringue pie, at least have nice big fluffy clouds. Lofty.
Who needs dinner when you got that for dessert? Wow, it's beautiful, Mom.
We're just having a little private dinner here. If I'm really serving this to guests, I would put about 3 more egg whites in here and have
make it
it
even
like
bigger.
8 inches tall.
Mile high meringue pie, I'm telling you.
But this is good. This is perfect.
Beautiful. And the peaks are what makes it beautiful in the oven because just the tops and the sides of those little peaks are what browns up, and
They're
that's
a
what
little
makes
bit
it pretty.
crunchy, and the sugars are caramelized on there, and they're so darn tasty.
Mommy, that's gorgeous. Now you can have that spatula because I made a pig of myself from the bowl.
Okay, I don't want to waste any of this beautiful stuff.
Gorgeous, Mommy.
Yes.
Look at this. We won't be able to taste. Well, maybe we will. We'll
So
taste it for
you know, if we would have whipped this further, none of these little peaks would have fallen over for us, and that's part of the beauty of it. I just love those little peaks.
Love
okay.
it. It's ready.
All set, honey.
You can have that.
Oh, okay.
Into the oven it goes for 10 to 15 minutes. Keep your eye on it at 10. Okay, we're about 5 minutes into the meringue baking, and what we're doing is we're turning the pie 180 degrees. Oh, it looks so pretty. You don't even need to take it out of the oven, just swirl it in there.
Well, because the convection oven is on, and the fan blows from one direction, so you get more browning on that, on the inside.
Yes, ma'am. This pie is done, and it's the most glorious looking pie. Mile high orange meringue pie. Now, Mom, you did a gorgeous, gorgeous job with this meringue. Look at this pie. Look at this pie. I know you want that. You definitely want this. You have no idea how delicious this pie is right now. Ooh, you gotta make it.
Meringue pie.
You gotta make it. Stay tuned for more of our meringue pies.
Yes, we're
You're gonna
going
be
to
excited.
do a little series on meringue pies for
Yes,
you.
ma'am. So that's how you do it. Maybe you'll see us take a bite of this later, but right now it's way too hot. You need to let this cool completely. You cannot serve meringue pies warm at all.
No.
This is going to sit. This is the first thing that we made today for our Easter celebration because this has to be done out of the oven for the other things to be baked and cooked and roasted and etc. This is done. Dessert is done.
I just want to tell you one thing about the cream of tartar. Not only does it temper the peaks so that they don't fall over on you, but it also have you ever seen a meringue pie where little weeps all over the place? Well, that prevents that from happening.
From leaking.
And that leaking makes the meringue deflate.
And it makes your pie crust wet.
Yeah.
No one wants wet pie crust. You want crunchy, flaky pie crust.
Yeah.
This is lovely, Mom. What a beautiful job. Good job.
Thank you.
Happy Easter.
Thank you.
This is going to be the crowning piece of our dinner tonight.
Oh, and the jelly roll, the lemon jelly roll.
That's right. Make sure I forgot about it because we made it ahead of time. Yeah. It's in the freezer ready. Yeah. Lemon curd filled jelly roll. Make sure you check out that show. It's a really good one too. Yeah. Okay, so this is going to be set to the side. That's how you do it. Make sure you check out Mom's website at ingridturnertoday.com. Follow me on Twitter at Cooking with Kim E with a capital E. Like the fan page at facebook.com/cookingwithkimberly. My shows are on ifood.tv/cookingwithkimberly and youtube.com/cookingwithkimberly. And my site is cookingwithkimberly.com. That's it. That's all. Be a champion in your kitchen and eat deliciously. Bye. Oh, I can't wait. Fancy meeting you here. How you doing?
I thought I could sneak in here and get a little snack.
Me too.
I had too much to eat at dinner and I couldn't finish. I couldn't even think about dessert.
You and me both.
So
we ate way too much.
I thought I'd go and sneak in here. Nobody had noticed.
Yeah, well. Everything's ready. Why don't you slice it up?
Okay then. Oh well.
Get out the kitchen.
Ooh.
Even the puppies want something.
It does look good.
Can't wait to see it. I don't want that big a piece. That'll be
yours. No,
yours.
It's half the pie. You don't want that?
No. I want like half of that. Yeah. I can't wait. I've had my mind on it all night.
I know. It looks so good. I couldn't wait either.
I don't care if it falls apart, whatever.
That'll be
the first one's always falls apart.
It's not true.
Well, you can have that if you want.
Yeah.
I'm not going to fight you for it. Here, we had everything prepared and set out. Oh gosh, Mom. Oh.
Should be sleeping.
Okay.
My hands.
Well, I'm eating mine.
Oh, I gotta taste that.
Look, I'm sorry, I cut right into it already. Look at that orange meringue pie. Mile high. Let me show you. Look at that. Oh boy. You want that, man. You want that.
Orange meringue.
Look at all that meringue.
Mmm. Mm.
Oh man.
This is
Hold
good.
On. Hold on.
Mm. Mm. Oh, that's lovely.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're like two ships in the night.
Mm-hmm. Passing like two ships in the night. Mm.
I'm going back to my room.
Okay. See you in the morning. Night.
Good cooking today.
Thank you.
Mm.
This is scrumptious.
Bye, Mommy.
Bye-bye, honey.
It's on my nose.